Now, one alternative is another criteria. In the book, this comes later, but it's called profitability index. It's based in short PI, and let me write the formula for that. Come on. Present value of future cash flows divided by cost of project. Okay? But this is directly related to NPV. Remember, NPV is present value of future cash flows minus cost of project, right? By its very definition. So PI is PV FCF so PV FCF is NPV plus COP so PI is NPV plus COP divided by COP, which is 1 plus NPV over COP. So if you calculate it NPV, you can automatically calculate PI, or if you have PI, you can figure out NPV. Alternatively, NPV is COP times PI minus 1. And PI rule is simple for standalone. Except if PI is greater than 1, reject otherwise. By the way, you should prove yourself that PI is greater than 1 if and only if NPV is greater than 0. That's a logical statement that says if PI is greater than 1, NPV is positive, or if NPV is positive, not or, and if NPV is positive, PI is greater than 1. So there is no independent information. As long as the project is standalone. Now, things get complicated if projects are mutually exclusive. PI rule says accept the project with highest PI provided it is greater than 1. Now, NPV and PI may not always give you the same decision if there are mutually exclusive projects, because PI doesn't know anything about the scale of the problem. I mean, let's kind of concoct an example. suppose project A, cost of project is $100,000. There is only one cash flow, and it produces cash flow one is $110,000. Or let's do it $90,000, and R is 10%. So let's calculate NPV and PI for this one. Let me also do PI, which I know to be 1 plus NPV divided by COP. Let me make that white, dark blue, a bit bigger, bold, and 3 digits. Okay. So let's do a project. 100,000. Oh, I'm sorry, 90,000. And now you understand why I did that conditional formatting. I don't have to worry about any other number, just the one. And I constructed it so that NPV is going to be exactly $10,000. PI is 111, okay? NPV is 10,000. Good. Now, alternative project. Let's say COP is $30,000, N equals 1, and C1 is $40,000. Since I already have my template, all I have to do is change my inputs. 30, 40. Oops, not 400. This gives me an NPV of, in fact, let me do a different color. And you have colors, you might as well use them. $63.63. And PI of 121. So according to, so this is project A, this is project B. According to NPV rule, which project would I pick? If any. Let me change the colors of these things. Which project would I choose using the NPV rule? A or B? Just read the numbers and remember what the NPV rule is.
Since that's the higher one.
NPV of B is 63.
Oh.
NPV of A is 10.
Okay.
So you would pick A because it has higher NPV. Remember, NPV rule says pick the project that has the highest NPV provided it's positive. So A is greater than B and it's also positive, so you would go with A. According to PI, which project you would pick? B, because PI rule says pick the project with the highest PI provided it's greater than 1. So they give conflicting results. The reason they give conflicting results, PI is a per dollar kind of measure, okay? I mean, per dollar I'm making more money, but I'm making that money only over 40,000 or 30,000. Project A essentially is 3 times bigger. I'm not making as much money per dollar, but I'm making it over a big amount. So as far as value added to the firm, A is better. But if I didn't know anything about NPV and somebody told me PI, then I would have made the wrong decision. So PI is not a decision rule for projects that have wildly different scales. Okay? They're similar, you don't worry about it too much, but if they're not, you do. Our next one has a similar problem. In addition to problems of its own, internal rate of return, also known as IRR. Okay. Consider the equation. Remember the NPV definition. NPV is C0 plus okay. IRR is the value of R that makes NPV equals 0. Alternatively, it solves the following equation. Define X as 1 over 1 plus IRR. Okay. Then NPV equation is C0 plus C1 times X or this is the equation that defines IRR. C2 times X squared, C3 times X cubed, Cn times Xn. It's basically an nth degree polynomial in X. Generically, an nth degree polynomial has n possible roots. Some of them may be imaginary as the complex numbers. But if all future cash flows are either 0 or positive, it's a long way of saying non-negative. I love mathematicians because of this. They can be precise with very economical terms. Non-negative. Then there exists a unique solution to the IRR equation. I mean, not only there exists at least one real valued solution,